Well, doesn't that suck? Oh, what a horrible time for Twitter glitches. Horrible. Terrible. Atrocious. That made me miserable. Damn it. Damn it. Why couldn't they hire a better engineer team? Damn it. Unreal. Just despicable. Unbelievable. Okay, Mr. 1 in 100 is in the house. Hopefully we can get Pro Street back in. Let me see. Let me see if I can get Jimmy to bring him back. Dude, get him back. We glitched. Let's see if we can get him back. Jimmy, we glitched out. Can you reach out and see if he'll come back in?
In the process.
That's because you are a certified gangster.
He's coming. He said he definitely wanted to answer your last question, divinely. Can you get her a mic?
Yeah, I'll get her. I wouldn't want to have to chunk them.
Divinely, you sound strangely like Jennifer Tilly, my dear. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah, hello?
There you go. You're back.
Okay.
Sorry, man. Elon Musk.
Hedge funds.
Okay. What was the last question?
Yes,
Miss
the
Divine.
last question is the fiat currency, this is kind of a question in one. So the fiat currency, what will happen to that once we go blockchain? And then also on Lobster, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, on Lobster, have you heard of I think it's I'm not sure what commodity it is because there's different ones. But I think it's a crypto. Have you heard of a US rainbow currency?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of invested in that. Just I really don't know too much about it. It was told to me by someone, but it's at a very, very low price. So I've only invested in like $10, and I'm already like at a lot of money. But the thing is, my question is, what will happen to the fiat currency once we go blockchain? That was my last question.
So I know I recently had some family members that visited India. They live in Ohio and Oklahoma. I have family all across the U.S., right? And they went to they went to India and they came over here after, and I was actually shocked because they told me that majority of people in India, they don't use cash anymore. They use their phones and they use credit cards, and this is so wild to me because I've been, the last time I was in India was in 2004. Okay, at that time everyone used cash. Okay, and so to get to your question, um, America and Canada are actually behind. Okay, in Japan they have this one card which you use for your TTC, your transit, you use for your fuel, everything, right? So what's going to happen to fiat? I don't think it's going to go away entirely. I think there's a place for fiat, but it's not going to be as commonly used between citizens like me and you, and to buy like coffee and stuff. I think everything's going to be digitized dollars. But that said, I think fiat is going to exist, okay? But it's going to be used in different ways. And why I say this is, I don't know if you know this, MMAT. Do you know the company MMAT?
Yes, I'm an
Metamaterial.
investor.
Okay, so MMAT bought this company that prints money, right? Or they do the security features on bills. Okay, yeah. So that company is, I think, in Nova Scotia. The company announced they had a contract for till 2025 or something with one of the big banks in the US, and they couldn't give the name of the bank. But they have contracts far out with companies that create fiat still, right? So I think fiat is going to continue to exist, but it's not going to be used between retail, by retail. Does that make you sense?
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay,
Thanks for answering all the questions.
sure.
And just by the way, I'm Busy's wife, just to let you know.
Sorry, what was that?
I think people know who Busy is.
Busy. Sorry, I don't know that.
I know.
She is Mrs. Brands,
This is
and she
He's
will
on
not
the screen.
hesitate. She will not hesitate to chunk them with you.
okay.
But I really thank you for your time and thank you for answering the questions, and you'll have a good evening.
Yeah,
Have a good
perfect.
night.
Good night, Mrs. Brands.
What?
Give your husband a big wet kiss on the side of his face and say that's from Andrew. Dawn, did you have a question for Pro Street or Mr. 1 and 100? Dawn?
No, I do not.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get back to the wedding planning questions later. If anybody has a question for Mr. 1 and 100 or Mr. Pro Street and Alpha, please feel free to request a micro and phone, and we will go ahead and get to your end questions. Any other questions for Mr. 1 and 100 and Pro Street Alpha? Well, hell.
Pro
Jimmy?
Street Art.
What'd you say?
I said it's Pro Street Art.
Oh, Pro Street Alpha is the goon on YouTube. Sorry.
Oh, there's a pro.
Yeah. Whoops, my bad. It's late. I'm tired. Okay, so I have a question. Bringing this thing back to MMTLP. I haven't been able to tie what I sent you in the DMs. I haven't been able to find any proof of tokenized monetization of MMAT or Torchlight or MMTLP to that token, but I was hoping that maybe you would know where to look in the right place to find that. Is that something you think you can do?
The torch token.
Yeah.
Where
I
did you
haven't
get
found anything definitive.
Where did you get the screenshot?
A certain group of individuals that don't like me very much.
And because like I'm looking at it, it doesn't say the date.
Yes, it does.
Does it?
Yes. If you look on the, I'll tell you
Oh,
right now.
yeah. Okay, yeah, February 9, 2023. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I lovingly refer to this group as the Popcorn Fart Power Rangers.
Well, the exchange, it's saying it's XTB online trading.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that, but I'll take a look. I don't know about this.
Well, this group is notorious for their DD.
Okay.
They're also not the kindest fellows, but they're notorious for their DD. And I managed to snag it from one of them. Okay, so here's a question. First of all, Mr. Mr. Art, how much time do you have for us?
Like today is Saturday, I don't know, I could be here for like another hour.
Gangster. Mr. 1 and 100, how much time do you have for us?
I'm going to pass out, to be honest with you.
I was waiting for that, brother.
Well, Mr. 1 and 100, would it work if I challenged you? If I challenged you to try and match the unbridled stamina of one pro street art?
I'm sure Mr. Pro Street and I will have another conversation at some point in the future, and I am not going to press dibs on me trying to get my beauty sleep. So I bid you farewell and have a good night.
You rat
Hey, thanks for
bum.
showing up, bud. I appreciate you.
Dude, this was an epic conversation, Mr.
Yeah.
1 and 100. So thank you.
Yeah,
Take
well,
care.
for sure.
It's a pleasure.
I had a great time as well. Thank you.
Oh, you're not going anywhere. You're staying put.
No worries. I actually want to stay here a bit longer because I just want to go over. I think we should go over how many shares there are, and like try to just throw some ideas out there, because we know that
I've been focusing on this for about a week and a half.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so we can have this conversation. I also have the same guy. I don't know if you saw those Bloomberg terminals that I posted.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Perfect.
I have those. I have a certain group of fellows doing volume analysis for me. And
Andrew, I got to interrupt you. Your question that you've been wanting to know about the volume, maybe he can help with that, since he was talking about he had all the volume all the way back from the torch days.
Yeah, so that's what I'm getting to. I'm having them do a volume analysis on the final, I think it was 8 months of Torchlight, and then a volume analysis on MMTLP. So this is what I kind of loosely threw together. There's an estimated 40 million FTDs. There is 41 million FTDs. There is, I believe, I can actually pull this number up real fast if you just bear with me a second.
Want to let Junk talk real quick?
Yeah, Junk Savvy, what do you have?
No, I just wanted to say I was thoroughly enjoying the conversation, and I don't normally like crypto conversation because I feel so ignorant, but just so you know, I did not kill Andrew's space like someone mentioned in the chat. It's just we've begun to realize what happens when they start glitching and what's going to happen. So I did not mean to interrupt Divinely. I hope she came back and got her question answered, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that it was going down. So
She absolutely did.
Oh, good.
And yeah, she
Sorry about
absolutely
that.
did.
But no, so we don't like start internet rumors. I did not kill Andrew's space.
I don't think anybody was thinking that, or at least I wasn't.
Oh no, they put it in the chat. So
People are so funny.
Anyway, but no, Edward kind of told us what we can start to see, and yeah, they glitch out and eventually they die, and then we just open another one. It's no big deal. So.
Yeah, no,
but yes, I'm excited. Thank you so much, Pro Street Art. Yeah, and I hope 100. Oh, he's dropping away. But yeah, that was an amazing conversation. And yes, I too am in HYMC, and I've been trying to figure out how to get XRP and XLM, but because it's only on limited platforms. But I think it was on Kraken, but something just happened with Kraken.
The fact that they didn't ban any other nonsense crypto, Shiba Inu, and there's so many. There's a Husky coin, but the one crypto company that has been in close communication with the SEC since 2013, that's the one company that they filed the lawsuit against. And then in Canada, we had every crypto exchange be ordered to not allow XRP to be traded. Okay.
Yeah,
Why is it?
I don't think that's a coincidence.
Exactly.
Well,
If
I
yeah.
have friends that are involved in the whole XRP Ripple case. Well, what kind of resolution do you feel it's coming to, and in what time frame? Can you even speak to that?
Okay, I gotta catch up on the court case, but
Oh,
my
okay.
understand
No worries.
my understanding is um I, the settlement is I think the whole court case, first of all, is a setup. Okay, it's a nonsense case. Okay, and just hearing and reading what the judge already said
Yeah.
on the behavior of the SEC, like my experience with judges. Oh man, if a judge said something I forgot the exact phrase she used, but that's as bad as it can get, right? Like,
Yeah, they excoriated the SEC, and
yeah,
basically is like, you've lost this, settle it now.
not only
Yeah.
that, but John Deaton, this guy is a champ, okay, and he's been even helping the library case, okay. So what the SEC have keep harping on is that when XRP was made initially, that Ripple went out and they sold XRP as a security, which isn't the case. And then what they said was that those people that they sold XRP to went and sold it as a security, right? Then what John Deaton did in the library case just recently, like last week, was he got the SEC to admit in that case that any secondary sale of the crypto asset is not considered a sale of a security. And the SEC, the judge asked them point blank, "Do you agree?" Right? And the SEC admitted that.
Yeah.
Okay. So and then and
One young Janari would like me to inform Miss Junk Savvy that you can purchase XRP on Uphold.
Okay, thanks, Janari.
oh, and also BitTrue. I use BitTrue.
BitTrue?
Yeah, BitTrue.
Oh, okay. I hadn't heard of that one yet. So
Is that available in the States?
I'm not sure. You'll have to check that.
well, I mean, as much as we've been through this incredible 60 plus days of our money and our justice being held up, I really do feel for the people that are invested in XRP, because it's been a long time for them too. So hopefully it will swiftly, no pun intended,
You're
come
roboting a little bit, Junk. You're roboting a little bit, but
to,
with your
can you hear
permission,
me
I
now?
think this volume topic is very important.
Yeah, let's do it. Sorry. No,
No
I
Hold
problem.
on.
yeah.
Just
Go ahead.
one thing. What's your first name, if you don't mind me asking? Is it Junk?
I
Who,
actually,
me?
No, Junk.
yeah,
Is it Junk?
you can
Oh.
call me Junker, or you can call me Savvy.
Oh, I'll call you Savvy. Okay. Uh, One other thing I just want to let you know about XRP is one of the first of all, there's close more than 100 banks which have already been using it, and in Canada, Royal Bank of Canada has like I went on their website and not Royal Bank, Bank of Canada. Okay, I went on their website. They have a PDF. They've been testing XRP since 2015. On top of that, Japan, Japan has one of I think the fifth largest bank in the world. It's called SBX, I think. Uh, they have a lot. They have already. So XRP is legal in every country except the U.S. Okay, it's been legal. It has legal clarity. Okay, it's not a security, and Japan is on the verge of a total banking collapse right now. And chances are Japan is going to it's going to be forced to use XRP. It has no other option.
Yeah.
Because the liquidity, this is what's happened in Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Brazil, Peru, Mexico, all across Europe. Every bank's liquidity is drying up. They're in a position where they need a system that offers liquidity and instantaneous money, like instantaneous transfer, where they don't have to wait 5 days to get. Like I said, XRP isn't meant for retail; it's meant for banks transferring billions of dollars per second.
Yeah, on the Ripple system. So that's if
Yeah.
people don't understand the connection, Ripple is going to replace the Swiss system. And
Yeah.
like Bank of America has already begun implementing it. So anyway, yes, let's get to the volume discussion. Hopefully we can have another space with Mr. Street Art and continue that. But yeah, let's get to the volume. Thanks, Andrew. I'll drop down.
Of course. Let's go to Cortez first before we start. Cortez, what's up?
Yo, what's going on, man? I actually have a solution to your XRP problem. So, if you want to buy XRP, all you could do, you actually can do it, but you have to use a VPN, and you have to change your IP to a certain country, and you could purchase it through like Mandala exchange. You can buy crypto and transfer it over, and then just take it out on your ledger, and then bam.
Yeah.
So if you want to buy it and you live in the U.S., that's the way I know to get around it.
Okay. Janari, did you have something to add?
Oh yeah, with the XRP conversation, just look at Saudi Arabia. That should tell you why you should buy XRP. They're a trillionaire family. Think about that. They already talk about integrating the central banking system with the XRP system. Look at the
Pro Street.
BRICS. Look at the
Yep.
BRICS countries. They already thinking about integrating that with their banking structure. Do you know how much money that's gonna be flowing through that system? They're gonna have to buy a lot of coins just to even use that technology.
If XRP gets just 10% of the daily transactions, its base value exceeds easily exceeds $10 to it could go up to 100, go past 1,000, right? Because the way XRP is designed, remember there's close to 50 billion in escrow. It's held and it's frozen by the court order. Now, there's rumors that a lot of that has already been kind of sold to banks around the world. Okay, but based on my research, what's going to happen with the remaining XRP is they're going to send like 1 million, 10 million XRP to every major Federal Reserve Bank of every country. Each reserve bank will then send like 100,000 XRP to individual banks around the country, right? So imagine like one large pool, and then underneath that one large pool, there's 100 tiny puddles as well around the big pool. Okay, each of the small puddles represents the small banks in that country, which will be given like 1,000 XRP each or 100,000 XRP. That'll create liquidity pools on the micro scale, and then the Federal Reserve Bank of each country will hold the vast majority of the XRP for state to state transactions. You understand? On a massive scale.
Dang,
So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So it's creating liquidity pools. You understand? That's the only way. We're headed for a liquidity crisis. And XRP is the only system that has the solution, which is a liquidity pool, right?
Yeah.
And the more you value XRP, the more liquidity each bank has. You understand? So if you value, in the end, okay, I haven't given this figure out because people won't believe me. The real value based on my calculation is XRP is after the global market, the entire global payment system. Okay, and if they take over everything, which I don't think will happen, but they'll get a good chunk of it, right? I, I to say XRP is worth 100, to sell one XRP for 100,000 is selling it cheap. I think the real value in the future, maybe by 2035, maybe by 2030, the real value per XRP is between 500,000 and 1 million per XRP.
And for me, that's why my goal was to make a lot of money with this trade, to put 100 grand in XRP, to forget about it, and that was gonna be my retirement plan. Cause I knew that the US dollar in the long run is not gonna be the reserve currency anymore. We already in $31 trillion in fucking debt. You know, look at all the other countries. They're preparing. They stacking up on gold, natural resources. I believe that we are already in times of another war. And I truly believe that XRP is the future, because why you think that SEC filed that lawsuit against them? Because they knew that would
Exactly.
put them out of, like, the US dollar out of business completely.
Not only that, it's to dupe the whole world. The whole world is saying fuck the US dollar. The US is saying, yeah, I agree with you, fuck the US dollar. And they basically started a case against Ripple to show the world that they don't like Ripple when Ripple is indirectly controlled by the US, okay, in many ways. But XRP is a decentralized currency. However, the payment platform is an American invention, right? It's better than us using, I forgot, even China. China came out with a SWIFT-like system. I forgot the name, but it's one of the big competitors, okay? And China is trying to get all the BRICS to use its system. But its system is just as inefficient as the SWIFT system. Ripple is the XRP system is far superior. Okay, so they'll be in a position in the future, is if they don't adopt the Ripple, if all of Europe, which Europe is going to do what the US says, Canada is going to do what the US says, and the way the whole system is set up is every bank is indebted to another bank, right? The hedge funds, everyone's debts are connected now. Any liquidity crisis, it's like it's the captain has to sink with the ship, right? There's no other option. However, here's Ripple giving XRP to the world. So the world is saying we don't want USD. Fine, don't take USD. But now you're in a position where the future payment protocol system is by an American company, right? And what's going to happen is the US dollar is not going to go away, or no country's currency is going to go away. It's going to the currency itself will get reset, okay, in terms of value. So it's going to get pegged to the assets of that country. Now, America is a big producer of oil. America has a lot of lumber, a lot of dairy products, soybeans, corn, right? All of these are tangible assets with real life value. They get, like, if you look at the commodity index, you can find prices for all of these commodities. They get put into one big pool. That will determine the value of the US dollar in the future. Now, to transfer those values and that USD, XRP token will be required, because if America trades 100 tons of lumber for another country's 100 tons of sugar, okay, the value is exchanged from USD into XRP. XRP converts the USD value. It does these algorithms, these calculations to figure out the exact value on the other end in the different currency, and that country has its currency pegged to its country's assets, right? So no longer, so no, basically what comes down to is these countries don't want a US dollar that's not pegged to anything. They don't want a paper dollar. They want something of value, and XRP gives that option. Every country will reset its value, right? So you have some of these so-called developing countries, but they have some of the world's most valuable resources, right? Like there's countries in Africa which own 90% of the rare earth minerals needed in our cell phones, satellites, and whatnot, right? Now, when the reset happens, these commodities will will determine the value of that country's currency. So although today the Zimbabwe dollar is worth nothing, if that country has significant valuable assets, right, that currency could go from being worth nothing to, once the entire system is being adopted, to a real, if you want to talk about wealth transfer, that's the wealth transfer, right? Um, where there's more fair play in terms of the value of the commodity, the value of the currency, which is pegged to real commodities, real assets. And XRP is the crypto which will allow not only liquidity, but which will allow you to sell your commodity for another person's commodity. Does that make sense?
Yes, in a little bit, yeah. One thing with it, the U.S., with the commodities market. I mean, let's be honest. The U.S. is really not one of the biggest producers of just natural resources. We mostly outsource our resources in other countries, like India, South America, and all the other countries like that for natural resources like food, products, and things of that nature. It's like we have an actual I think it's a crisis on baby formula, and I think I can't remember right now. It's quite late. I'm trying to think of some other resources we have a shortage on, but how can we say that we can peg our stuff to our assets when we really not the main producer of these assets?
Um, there's certain assets that the country doesn't produce, but there's other assets that the country does produce. So my understanding is that the assets of that country, for example, okay, you say baby formula, but America has a lot of gold, a lot of silver, a lot of oil, a lot of gas, a lot of other minerals, right? Those are the assets, right? And if you're another country which doesn't have the same amount of assets, I don't know if you saw an interview with the guy who who created XLM, McCaleb, I think his name was. He said basically what's going to happen is there's right now there's 180, 200 currencies around the world. Well, in the future, what's going to happen is it's going the world's going to only have 10 currencies. Okay, uh, that's one of the possibilities, right? Because you have a lot of these micro countries and unstable countries which just don't have the technological means uh, uh, to utilize
Sustain itself.
sustain itself, utilize XRP, right? So, like for example, in Turkey, Turkey's going through a terrible inflation time right now, right? So what's happened is a lot of the Turkish business owners, they're not even accepting the Turkish lira anymore. They're saying just pay us in US dollar. We don't want our own country's currency anymore. Okay, so it's there's going to be a big collapse in order for all the countries to come together and figure out a solution, right? And the solution is there shouldn't be 180 different currencies. Um, who knows what's going to happen, right? But my understanding is that XRP is the only crypto which comes close, even close to offering a solution. Okay, no other crypto is capable of doing what XRP can do. Right, and again, 100 more than 100 banks are already have already tested it, used it, and the largest bank in Japan, the president of the largest bank of Japan said that he wants to start using XRP on top of that.
Well, here's the thing too. A reason why I also do
Jay,
believe
this is the
that.
last one, dude. We got to get to this.
All right.
Go for it.
I do truly believe like, okay, since you're saying it's gonna get down to a point where 10 currencies, we're just getting more closer and closer to a one world government, and we're on one world currency. And I truly believe this is gonna be the last time, like the next 10 to 15, 20 years, for you to even have a biggest, greatest wealth transfer. What you think about that?
Uh, maybe, all right. And I personally think we're moving towards so once XRP dominates the payment protocol system, um, and everything comes onto the blockchain, I think contrary to all the panic that's happening right now about government overreach and stuff, they won't be able. You can't. The American Constitution, for example, is so unbelievable, right? The difference between the American Constitution and the Canadian Charter is that in my charter it says I've been granted my rights. Okay, someone's bestowed these rights to me, but in your country, the Constitution says you are born with your rights. Okay, so for example, when these people say that, oh, CBDCs are coming and they're going to control people's privacies, right of movement, right of free speech, right for medical privacy, and all of this stuff. Yeah, they're trying to do this, right? But when it comes, and what Trump did by stacking the Supreme Court with conservative originalist judges is he saved every American's life. Okay, because what they were trying to do is they were trying to do what they did in Canada. They put all these socialist liberal judges that think the Constitution is a living tree that changes over time. Okay, and you have these originalist conservative judges which says interpret the Constitution as it's written. Okay, but point is, what's going to end up happening is the public pressure is going to force governments to create a crypto charter, a human rights charter, right? And I forgot there was a woman. She said she was like the daughter of Nixon or something. She said this in one of her conferences, that eventually, because the threat of government overreach, they're going to have to create a type of human charter, a bill of rights type of thing for cryptocurrency, so governments don't overreach, right? And the great thing about the interledger system, which XRP has, is and I've actually been reading up on this one blockchain patent, right? But what's going to happen in the future is you're going to have total control over your data. Okay. And I know there's panic that you're gonna be completely controlled by the government through CBDCs. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, the public is going to revolt, and they're already revolting around the world. Okay, and here in Canada, what our Prime Minister just said, he had a meeting with every state in Canada or province, and he told each provincial premier that, hey, you have to, if you don't force medical ID tracking, right, in your province, then you won't get a funding from the federal government. So they're trying to push this type of medical tracking system that they tried to do during the COVID stuff. It's trying, but now what's happened is 3 or 4 of the provinces have completely objected to it. Right, so there's a
Talking about the
lot of
RFID chips, something like
not
that.
it's not there yet, but it's going to eventually get there. But the there's a big my point is they're going to try to do it, but there's so much public outlash, all right, that they're not going to be able to get it done. But there is that threat, right? But I think at the end of the day, the free market's going to win. I think in the future, I think blockchain, people don't understand how massive this technology is. Okay, if you take our economy right now, our global economy right now, blockchain has the ability to quadruple the size. Okay, um, you'll it's if you start your own company right now, okay, and if anything, you just teach something that you know, welding or whatever, fixing cars, whatever. You create your own platform. You can get paid without the government basically knowing. And now there's talks about them removing the income tax in Canada and other countries. Um, the blockchain is it's shoot. I don't have like I'm so tired right now, but uh, it's I know it's scary times right now that government's going to control, but I think at the end of the day, it's they're going to fail. Okay, based on my research, it's just not going to work out for them.
Okay. Hey, can you follow me? And send me some more information like this. You're a very smart guy, and this is some good information right here. Like real talk. Like I can add this to on top of the information I already know. I would really appreciate that.
Sure. I'll add you later on. Is it Jay Nari? Who
Yeah,
is it?
Jay Nari, yes. JAYNARI.
All right.
Yes.
I followed you right now. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pro Street, you should know that Jay Nari is one of our young stars. He recently turned 19 years old, and he's got a real bright mind, and we've all
Cool.
made an investment of sorts into his future.
Nice.
We did a fundraiser for him for his birthday, and we raised over $5,000 for his birthday.
Nice.
He's a good man, and yeah, we're
Is he invested in MMTLP?
yeah heavily.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he'll be a wealthy good man.
God willing,
Yeah.
from your mouth to God's ears.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what kind of I came up with loosely. Hold on. I got my notes here. I've got 254,787,984 shares traded. Right? Okay. I've got a turnover rate. The highest one that we've seen, I believe, is 1.2%. But just for safety's sake and adding a buffer, in case the turnover rate was higher than that, I accounted for a 10% turnover rate. 10%. So,
Okay.
So that,
you said first there was 41 million FTDs, okay?
yes.
And then you're saying in the 8 months of trading that there was 258 million?
No, not in the. So this is the trading from 2021. We had
Okay.
85,451,128 shares that changed that total volume.
Okay.
Right? And then in 22, we had, what did we have? We had 169,339,856 shares.
And this is just for MMTLP.
Yes.
Okay.
So accounting for a 10% buffer, that's roughly 230 million shares. Okay. It is believed that when the market makers created this security, they did not have the shares to do it. I think you would agree with that.
Yeah, correct.
Right. So we've got 230 million shares right off the bat. Then you've got the torch shorts. I've seen numbers anywhere from 80 million to 200 million. What are your thoughts on the torch shorts number?
Torch shorts are the majority, I would say the majority of the naked shorts. And just in the week of the merger, the volume, which I added up, was, let me pull it up actually. It was around 1.6, 1.7 billion in 1 week, in the just the single week of the merger.
If that's true, then God help us all.
Hang on, let me just find it right now.
I'm so excited to have this conversation with you right now.
Okay.
You actually have a desktop Mac or PC?
Desktop PC.
Mm-hmm. Are you a gamer?
I play StarCraft.
Okay.
Not a hardcore gamer, but I play it on and off. Okay, let's see.
Really? 1.2 billion torch shorts that carried over?
1 second. Okay, let's see. Okay, when I added up the volume from June 1st, they merged June 28, 20, something like that.
Yep.
But the volume from June 1st to June 30th, okay, is 1,668,000,000. And there's a bunch of other numbers, but it's 1.66 billion.
So how much of that are you attributing to naked shorts or to even legal shorts?
So I remember I tweeted this to John Berta, right? And hold on, let's see where it is. Yeah, I'm gonna DM you the link to that tweet that I tweeted to John Berta, okay, about the volume. It has good screenshots of my calculation.
Put it in the nest, Andrew.
Let me know if when you get it, when you're reading it, please. In that same tweet, I have the website to the website where I got all the volume over the 6 years, and I added all 32 pages. Okay. When I added all 32 pages, the overall volume of MMTLP and torch together was 5.77 billion. And then I gave the 5%. 5% of that was synthetic. 10% that was synthetic.
Okay. So which number do we go with and why?
So when I initially was getting into this, okay, I was trying to be like very conservative, okay, and I said it's between 5 and 10%.
I was gonna say
Right.
7.5. I said
Yeah, let's
7.5, but my mic was fucking muted.
Yeah, so let's just say 7. I even tweeted that. Okay, so I tweeted so much about this. It's if you search it, I'm sure you'll find it eventually. But let's 5.774624,019 times 1075. So that's 433 million shares. Okay, so it's somewhere around there. So between 350, I would
Jesus.
say, to 433 million.
Okay, so
Now, based on my most recent calculations, I know this excluding the 40 million that NVH gave to Roth Capital, they have 238 million shares remaining that they can sell. Okay, but out of that 238 million, half of those they can't sell at all, because they need those remaining shares to acquire the remaining 10% working interest and 30% revenue interest from the other parties.
So from this 600, so okay, so I added the 433 to
Yeah.
so I added the 433 million to the 230 million of counterfeits, right? So you're at 663 million.
Yeah.
And then you have to subtract first of all, they've got to get down to 165.5, right?
Yep.
So we've got to subtract 165.5,
Yep.
and then, so you're saying the 230 million, they have to keep at least half of that, right?
Yeah, they do.
So, okay. Does that 230 million include the 40 they just put aside?
No, it doesn't.
So now we've got 200 okay. So 230 million divided by 2 is 115 million plus 40 million. Now you're at 155, right?
Correct.
Okay. So
Let's
minus
just
one.
let's just say 160.
Okay. So now we're at 337,500,000.
Correct.
But you have to account for the 41 million FTDs, right? 41.
Sure.
Shit. Hold on. 41 million. Damn it. Hold on. So we've got 497,500 minus 160. Okay, so we've got 337,500 plus 41 million in FTDs. So now we're at 378,500,000. Okay, and then, hold on. That 160. Okay. But then from that 165.5 that we subtracted, that's not the float. That's the outstanding. You've got to subtract any restricteds. You've got to subtract any insiders, and you've got to subtract any whales. Would you say that's accurate? Well, maybe not the whales.
Yeah, not the whales. So when I said that they have 238 million remaining, not including the 40 million to rot, and I'm saying that the half of that they need it. I'm saying it's for their own employee compensation packages, to buy the revenue interest, the working interest, and for any other things they need those common stocks for.
Yeah, so that's restricted.
Right? Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So really, if the hedge funds come to them, they can offer around 150 to 160 NBH shares.
Now, have you taken into consideration the off-market data?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so there's off-market data on Finra transparency. That's another 217.9 million. These are just hedge fund trades.
Yeah, it's a mess, man. Like in that tweet I give you the website that I got all this from, all this trading volume data.
Yeah.
So if you click on that and scroll down.
Well, all right. So now allow me to reciprocate. Hold on. Watch this. Watch this. Hold on.
Okay.
You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. This is. I have to get it. Hold on one second. I have to get the link. You have Dropbox?
No.
No? Okay. How the hell am I going to get this to you then?
What are you trying to send?
I have all the off-market data. Someone in our community put a nice summary together of it, and I can send it all to you. It even says who the hedge funds are that traded it.
Okay, I'll send you my Gmail account.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
want?
yeah. RadioDrew. There it is. Oh, okay. Well, that should have been easy enough.
Yeah.
Hold on. It's going to come in the form of a Google Drive link. Mark A. Modi. Uh, 7625. Okay. Off market data. Okay. So I can just attach in the form of a Google Drive link here. Community did a scrape, and I asked him to prep it a very specific type of way so that the you know what I can do? I can forward you the email I already sent to someone. Hold on. And the Google Drive link should be there. Actually, here. Copy. And then paste. All right, let me know if this works. Okay. It should come through in about 30 seconds. There you go. It should come through any second now.
Sure. Let's take a look. Yeah, I got it.
There you go. Now, I'd like to draw your attention to the file marked as all MMTLP.
Okay, 1 second. I just gotta unzip it.
How fast your internet connection over there?
It's pretty good right now because nobody's using it. It's 6 a.m. almost.
Yeah, I know. You're a machine.
Oh, is it using Microsoft Excel?
Yeah, but I use Open Office.
Yeah, I'm using the Google Sheets.
Yeah, it should still come through for you.
Yeah, I just gotta upload it.
I mean, while you're here and while you're looking at this, I think it's really, really interesting to note that one of these entities doing these non-ATS trades is StoneX. Are you aware of what StoneX does?
No.
Yeah, so StoneX is the market maker INTL, and what they actually do is they specialize in transferring funds to the developing world, and they provide customized foreign exchange and treasury services. So they quite like, these are the guys that, like, this is where you go if you want to move stuff offshore. You go to StoneX.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is. Like, these guys, like, they're outward about it because of their business dealings in other countries. Now, I mean, I'm sure we can all agree that all of them, you know, they can route their liabilities to the Grand Cayman Islands, and essentially put them in a locked box. But StoneX is like blatant, like it says it in their mission statement of what they do. So I just thought that that'd be an interesting thing, just kind of draw your attention to.
Just trying to upload all these documents.
I mean, just the one that says all MMTLP provides the basic gist of it.
All MMTLP, that one? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, it's let's see, it's pretty long.
Yeah, and if you just, I mean, the sum of all of this is roughly 218 million.
And where did he get this from?
Finra Transparency.
Finra Transparency. Oh yeah, Concord. Look at Concord is apparently a Canadian.
Canaccord. So yeah. So I mean, that's okay. So that's from the week of October 4th. So in other words, the first week. And if you look, that first week, who shuffled around the most shit? That was GTS.
Yep.
They shuffled around 9.3 million shares that first week.
Yep. And then again, like and they 8.9 million.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, this was scraped. This was scraped from Finra Transparency. I can walk you through how we pull, how it was pulled up. If you want to do that right now, I don't mind.
No, not right now. Not right now. Let's see. I'm trying to. Okay, there you go. Is there a way to get a total?
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
The total is 217,934,380. So figure 218 million.
And you're saying this wouldn't be included in the volume data, eh?
No, this is off exchange.
Yeah, off exchange. Okay. Holy shit. It's crazy.
Holy shit is right. Yeah.
I mean, it's like we have evidence, but like we're just lacking that one final puzzle piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that
confirms everything.
Yeah, that's why I had some people that I know, start to kind of do like a professional volume analysis on this.
Yeah.
And they kind of,
like, when I tweeted this tweet that I sent you to John Berta, you won't believe it, but I had people tweeting to me saying that, oh, you're absurd. There's no way. They're trying to make others look at this tweet and this chart that I made
and just discount the shit out of it.
Yeah, especially the 1 billion. They kept focusing on the 1 billion for some reason. Okay, they're saying there's no way that's real. There can't be a billion. But lo and behold, now like we've drawn very strong inferences from what West Christian is saying, what the Tort CEO is saying, what all these glitches are occurring. Like we've even done our own mock calculations of shareholders, right? And just from the small amount of people that actually told us about how many shares they have, right? I think Tony Tweet said there's around 350 million just from that, right?
Yeah. If I integrate your numbers into all of the analysis that I've tried to do over the last couple of weeks, I'm at 596.5 million. Right on the clip.
Yep.
And that includes the subtraction of the 165.5.
So let's just say let's be conservative and let's just say there's 400 million shares they need to cover.
Yeah.
How are they? Let's now go through how possible ways of how they're going to do this.
Okay.
Okay, so
this is what I was alluding to before.
okay,
Okay. So there's one entity that controls the bid side. It could be multiple market makers, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be one entity on the bid. Let's say hypothetically the bid goes from $3 to $4. The one entity takes out all those shares that are on the ask at $4. Just arbitrary number, $4. Okay. How do they distribute those shares if there's one entity on the bid? Well, they've grouped these QSIPs. Why would Merrill Lynch, Schwab, and E-Trade have the same QSIP? What did they decide to just hold hands and match QSIPs? That shit doesn't happen. We had somebody come and say that their broker let it slip that the SEC is the entity that assigned the QSIP numbers. Why would they do that?
yeah, possibly, but I think like after going through all those DTC guidelines, if anybody's going to give those QSIPs and instruct the brokerages, it would be DTCC.
Well, one
right?
way or the other, somebody told them to do it.
Yeah, for sure, Yeah.
So why? My theory is that this way it could be one entity on the bid and the shares can be distributed by the QSIP numbers and they go on a liability basis. So if 10 million of those shares that are on the ask at $4 are Robinhood shares, then Robinhood gets first crack at those shares until their liability is completely bought back. And this way, number one, the brokers are buying from their own liability. That makes sense because right now, what do the brokers have? They have liabilities to their shareholders.
Yeah.
So it would only make sense that the brokers would have the first crack to buy the cheapest shares from their own shareholders because that's who their liability is to.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two, they've got to find a way to not get sued because if they were just going to allow these, they're not really QSIPs. If they were going to allow these identifier numbers to be traded independently of one another and not have one ticker symbol, they're going to get sued because that's not a true open market. So this solution with one entity on the bid that distributes the shares according to the QSIP mitigates that problem. It eliminates it. Now we have our open market. Number three, it minimizes the shock for each brokerage house because they're buying back cheap shares, and it eliminates the possibility that any market maker is going to be able to show favoritism to the brokerage houses that engage in paid for order flow with them. Listen, it's an extraordinary theory, but what do we have here? We have an extraordinary event.
Yeah.
And it's logical to think that each brokerage house would get first crack at buying the shares that they are liable to.
Right.
And it explains why these QSIPs were grouped this way.
That's true.
And thus far,
if our situation is as bad as it is, and if there is no other option for them but to open up to cover at minimum even let's just say 300 million between all 100 brokerages,
It's still going to
right?
be a fucking mess for them.
It's a mess, and this could trigger like banks to freeze everyone's account. This will cause in the bank run-ins, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm just calculating right now. If just 25 million shares that sell for $500, okay, they'll need $12.5 billion. That's at $500, okay.
This is going to cost them at minimum. This is going to cost them at minimum $250 billion at the very minimum.
Yeah. So like, okay, so I'm being very conservative here. Like 300 million shares, okay, and let's say on average, they sell for 500. Okay, let's just say that for now.
Yeah.
That comes out to be $150 billion.
Yeah. Now here's the trick. You were asking, how are they going to try and fuck with us? This is how they're going to fuck with us. I'm going to break this down to you now. If there's one entity on the bid, then they can play all kinds of. If there's one entity controlling the bid, maybe not on the bid, maybe all the market makers show up on the bid, but maybe they're all controlled by one entity or one AI. Maybe it's woven through. So what that does is they can take the bid, let's say from 4 to 5 to 10, and then they can drop it to 3 and make one idiot panic and take out all the trailing stops.
Yeah.
And then they could just rerun it over and over again. And then the bid gets higher and higher, and then it drops, takes out all the trailing stops, and then it goes higher and higher. So it's cyclical. So the first run will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then drop it back down to 5. Then it goes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then drop it back down to 8. Then it goes 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then drop it back down. They can do that because otherwise, if there isn't one entity controlling the bid, then these brokers are going to kill each other, literally kill each other.
Yeah.
They're literally going to, there's going to be dollar signs and hair gel and blood flying all over the place. So that's why, another reason why, I kind of sat down and thought up, okay, how are they going to try and do this to minimize the shock? This is how they would be able to do it. And the grouping of the QSIPs, I can't stress enough. That's what tipped me off. That's what tipped me off. Yeah. So I think, and they're going to create periods of dead volume to scare us. Maybe they bought all the shares back and the music stopped. Oh, we forgot to add in the legal shorts. We already know that there's 4.1 million legal shorts at least. And it's a drop in the bucket compared to the rest of this shit, but it's a drop in the bucket no less. If we want to get as finite as possible, now you're talking quite literally 600 million shares.
That's true, but what I would also add is if say there are groups of, okay, that one list that got sent a while ago showed I think in total 105 brokerages. Right?
John Berta confirmed himself.
Yeah.
105 broker dealers.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's.
All of them have liability. Okay. Every single one of them.
Okay. So let's 105. Okay, let's just say there's 100. Okay, so I don't want to deal with decimals. And let's say out of those 100 brokerages, 10, there's groups of 10. 10 groups of 10. You get that? 10 groups of 10. That makes a 100 in total.
Yes.
Okay. Each group of 10 has, like you said, a different QSIP number. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, each group with that CUSIP number will trade amongst themselves. So and between their clients. So the aggregate total of what
but when they're
MMTLP is.
done, but when they're done buying back, their clients now have the ability to sell to other brokerages.
Yeah, but so, that's correct. But I'm saying what I'm trying to point at is when each group buys is forced to buy from their own retail clients. The retail will not know how high the price actually is because the groups are buying and selling between themselves inside themselves.
No, but they're okay. But they're trading under one ticker.
With different CUSIPs.
Yes.
Right.
No, and they're
Right.
not CUSIPs. Yes. So
yeah. So what I'm saying is this is one way they might try to fool retail into thinking the price isn't going up. Right? Because what they've did is they've dispersed the volume into groups. Right? Do you understand?
Yes.
So we know that, hey, why the hell isn't this thing $1,000 yet? It's because the grand total of all the groups together isn't there. They've dispersed it into packages of 10 group, 10 group, 10 brokers, 10 brokers, right?
Yes, and because I get it, and because there's one entity on the bid, they can report the trades accordingly as broken up.
Yeah. So I think the real squeeze is going to happen in the final few hours. Because that's when whatever order you put, they're just going to have to sweep in and take it over. Just sweep in and take it. Any amount.
But here's the problem. So you estimated that they're going to give us a week, right?
Yeah.
What if they buy the whole shit back in 3 days? The music stops.
Yeah, but hold on. If they give us a week, then chances are that the naked shorts are excessive. Like there's no way they're not just going to buy in the 3 days. You know what I mean? Because if they just buy, then even in their groups of 10,
they're not going to
the price.
They're not going to allow any. They're not going to allow any sell to open orders.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Yeah.
They're going to be forced to buy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in 3 days, if they do cover in 3 days, then we're going to see exponential increase every hour in the price.
Correct.
I would say it's just going to go up and up. But if they spread it across a week, then they could do their tomfoolery, as they say, for the first few days, and then in the midweek, they'll convince people that, hey, maybe this thing's going to just stay around 150 or 100 or 75 or whatever, right? And then before you know it, in the last day, in power hour, it might they'll just come in and buy anything and everything.
So we have one guy in the community that said the first day he's not doing anything. He's just going to watch. He's not going to do anything. He's not going to sell one share that first day. Not one. He said he doesn't care what the price does.
It's up to individuals, but if the price hits, let's say, hold on, let me just.
Let's use X instead of an actual figure.
Yeah. So no, I'll just say if in the first day for myself, if it hits $100, okay, if it hits $100, then I'll
X.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell a small portion at for $100, because let's say, for example, if you sell 100 at $100,
just to recoup your original investment.
Yeah, and quickly buy other assets that I'm planning on, right? But after that, they can hold it for 2 years if they want. I could care less, right? I'm happy if I sell 100 for $100, I get 10,000. That's fine. I got all my expenses out of the way. I'm sitting pretty. I have the rest of my shares to go, but what that guy said is it's also not a bad idea if you know it's going to trade. It depends how long they're going to allow it to trade. If it's going to trade for just 2 days, then who
They're
knows, right?
fucked.
Yeah.
Then they're fucked. That's the end of that sentence.
I can't stress enough that people really need to dig deeper into DGAZF.
So the problem with DGAZF
Yeah.
is that it was I think it was a triple leveraged ETF, was it not? Before it was delisted? It was DGAZ.
Yeah, it was owned by Credit Suisse, okay?
Yeah.
And then it wasn't meant to trade, okay? This is the almost identical situation to MMTLP. It wasn't meant to trade, and for some reason, somehow it started trading. Okay, nobody knows how.
Well, it was meant to trade. It was meant to trade on the NAS. It wasn't meant to trade on the OTC.
Yeah, something like that.
They delisted it instead of deleting it.
Something like that, right? It's very similar to MMTLP, and people started to buy it, and then it was said that there was only 140 million shares short, 140,000, and apparently in the last day of it trading before it got deleted, okay, and that was also DGAZF was U3 halted. And then after it was U3 halted and they said it was deleted, they issued a D1 code, which they didn't do for MMTLP yet, even though they claim it's deleted.
Here, check your DMs. Check your DMs, and you'll see.
Okay.
You'll see the detailed. So I knew about this because this kind of happened. This kind of happened at a time that I was still semi-active. And I didn't play it, but the difference between DGAZF and this is DGAZF was literally retail playing musical chairs with itself. They weren't playing, it wasn't us versus the house. This is quite literally us being on the bid or us being on the ask and them being on the bid. So it could potentially be much more explosive than this because DGAZF still had the potential to go up and down. The only way this is going to go up and down is if they start pulling the bid, like I said before. And they make some sucker panic and sell and then take out all the trailing stops. DGAZF was a triple leveraged ETF, and it was delisted instead of deleted. And the problem with that is that the DGAZ when it was trading as DGAZ, okay, these ETFs have a mechanism that keeps shares trading at or near their underlying NAV. And when it switched to the OTC, that mechanism to add shares to the float to keep it low or to keep it balanced, that mechanism did not transfer over with it.
So I think I read this article as well. If you scroll down where it says how did this happen, it kind of explains it very well. I'll just read it. As far as I can tell, there's nothing nefarious at the play here, but there is perhaps some irresponsible behavior. The root of the problem comes from Credit Suisse deciding to delist DGAZ and let it drift to the OTC market instead of just closing it out altogether.
That's exactly what I said, yeah.
Yeah, Credit Suisse still makes fees on the notes, so perhaps that's part of the reason. But if you're essentially going to abandon it, you're doing it doing a disservice to investors who happen to stumble across it or decide to trade it. Another contributing factor is the fact that no new shares of DGAZF are being issued. That leaves investors who 3x negative exposure to the natural gas fighting for what few shares are available on the market. ETFs, for example, have a creation redemption mechanism in place that largely keeps shares trading at or near their underlying NAV. DGAZF is essentially trading like a rare coin, which really MMTLP is as well, right? It's become a rare coin. It's like a Bitcoin. If there are only a handful available in the world, like MMTLP, collectors might be willing to pay a crazy premium above its value in order to get their hands on it. I think that's exactly what we're seeing here. Why exactly investors feel the need for triple leverage exposure to natural gas right now is a mystery. Maybe it's portfolio positioning ahead of cold weather months, but who knows? But apparently there are indeed a handful of traders out there who want DGAZF, is offering, and are willing to pay big price to get it.
Yeah, because it was a game of musical chairs among retail. By this point, the market makers were out of the running. It was literally retail versus retail, whereas in this case, it's retail versus the establishment. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening and you want to read that article, I just posted it in the nest for all of you. You can feel free to save it and read it and go through it at a later time so that you can get a better idea of exactly what it is we're discussing. Now, for the purposes of this conversation, the DGAZF is a reliable indicator. Is a reliable indicator of kind of a benchmark of the kind of momentum that we could see should they open trading on this. So it is a valuable precedent to learn from. However, I remain steadfast on the idea that this was retail versus retail, whereas our case is going to be retail versus the establishment. So
okay, so this the article I just sent you, if you could share that with everyone.
Yeah, of course.
That's the one, the other one that I read. Okay, which is titled "DGAZ Short Sellers Lose $2 Billion on Black Swan Blowout." Okay, investing always carries a certain degree of risk, but short selling can be particularly risky given the potential losses are limitless. In our case for MMTLP as well. Most of the time, extreme short-term losses are purely theoretical, but short sellers of velocity share daily X3X inverse natural gas, DGAZF, recently experienced a black swan pricing blowout that served a costly $2 billion lesson to the dangers of short selling. In early August, the leverage inverse natural gas ETN traded around $400 level, but in a matter of days, the fund skyrocketed as high as 24,000. Okay, let's see.
I'm going to, ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested, I'm putting that one in the nest as well to give you a little bit extra.
Okay, so
whatever you want to call it.
It goes a bit further down and says short sellers trapped. S3 Partners. It's called S3 Partners analyst Ihor Dusinski said Friday that DGAZF short sellers took $2 billion loss in less than a week when the share price skyrocketed from 720 to 15,000. In fact, short sellers endured 1.68 billion mark-to-market loss in a single day on August 12th alone. Okay, looking ahead, Dunsky said short sellers will likely continue to scramble to cover their positions by the new August 25 maturation date, given there are still roughly 140,000 shares of the hedge fund that are short. It rose to 24,000 with 140,000 shares short. Okay, compare this just for comparison's sake. Just compare the some of the similarities with our issues. Right?
No, the momentum is berserk.
It's it's even if they fuck around and they screw a lot of the shares away, and then they have to still cover 25 million. Let's just say 25 million. The price is still going to go absurd.
Yeah. Yeah, but okay, so we must caution everybody. So, first of all, none of the information that we're discussing is a suggestion of a price target of where you should buy or sell. I remain firm when I say to everybody listening that when you're making a decision on where to sell, the factors that you must take into consideration are, number one, what you believe the underlying asset is worth, and then you have to balance that, meaning Nextbridge Hydrocarbons, the company, what you believe it's worth, and you have to balance that with what you believe the supply and demand value of your shares are worth, meaning how much someone would be willing to pay for your shares in the event of a squeeze, and you must balance those two factors and come up with a number as to what your price target is. And you must be aware that if your price target is too high, you will end up going to Nextbridge. So please, everybody, Pro Street and I are having this conversation, but please do keep that in mind for the purposes of, evaluating where your price target is. If you price yourself out of the game, you will go to Nextbridge. So, it's good to speculate, and it's good to discuss, and it's good to look at DGAZF as as a historical precedent for what can happen when something like this occurs. Even though it's not the same situation, it is similar in nature. The shorts must close their positions. So please do use, we're all adults here, so we must use discretion when we're hearing this kind of an information and this kind of a conversation. And you must realize that if you price yourself out of the game, you will go to Nextbridge. And I think that's
exactly. Well put. A lot of everything we're saying, like we're making a lot of conclusions, but there's a lot of gaps in our logic as well. Okay, because there's a lot of information that isn't fully confirmed. Everything that we're saying are inferences, strong inferences from evidence from different areas, and then we're putting it all together and making a speculative guess, right? That this is what may happen, all right, and this is what our thinking is. Listen to our thinking, try to find holes in our own logic, and compare it to what you're thinking, and make the choices that you think are right for you.
Do me a favor, go to my Twitter profile and look at my banner.
1 second, I gotta put my phone charger on.
Yeah, that makes two of us.
Okay. Your banner, it says, "Hello, my name is Andrew."
And what's it say under that?
Hold me.
Hole me. So what that
Yeah.
means is poke holes in my theory.
Yes, correct.
Come hole me. So we are inviting all of you to hole us. I know it's a
Yeah.
little double entendre, but it's fun.
Yeah.
I like to have fun, dude. 100,
no worries.
100 is an excellent holer, I must tell
Yeah.
you. He gives me a run for my money when he's holing.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I gotta have fun with it, dude.
Yeah, no worries.
I don't know if you've been to my spaces.
This is like I
You
think I've
listen.
heard you. Yeah, I listen, but I think I've heard you on a call with Gandalf, a guy, someone named Gandalf.
Yeah, we had a debate, him and I.
Yeah. No, I remember hearing you on that call where he said the TD guy told him it was going to trade, and it didn't actually end up happening. But it's interesting that the TD guy did tell him that, right?
Well, no, he didn't tell him that. He told me that. So
Yeah.
Gandalf and I had a debate where Gandalf said that the only way that Finra is going to allow this to trade is if they're forced. And I said that they have no choice but to allow this to trade one way or the other.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So if you had that conversation with the TD guy back then, and it still hasn't been resolved, that means there's a lot of issues in this that they're trying to resolve.
So I have two words that I constantly refer to.
Yeah.
Extraordinary event.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's going to take them time to clean all they've been literally digging with 4 shovels for the last 2 years. They've got the torch shorts, they've got the counterfeit shares, they've got the legal shorts, and then they've got the naked shorts. That's 4 shovels digging the same hole for 2 years.
Yeah.
So, of course, it's going to take them time to clean this shit up.
Let me, I don't know if you saw my video that I posted yesterday. I asked ChatGPT to define what FINRA's significant uncertainty in the settlement and clearance process meant.
I'll ask it right now. What does FINRA's... What was your question?
Okay, this is the exact question I asked ChatGPT. FINRA halted a security claiming significant uncertainty in the settlement and clearance process. What does this mean?
Uncertainty
in the settlement and clearance process.
What does this mean? Son of a bitch. Hold on. Did you just ask it, or did you ask it while it was jailbroken?
I haven't jailbroken it yet.
Oh, okay. So, when FINRA halts a security, it means that trading in a security is temporarily suspended due to significant uncertainty. The suspension is intended to protect investors and prevent potential harm to the market caused by uncertainty. FINRA may halt a security for a number of reasons, including regulatory concerns, market conditions, or accuracy of information regarding the security. During the halt, blah, 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 it is important to note that... Well, what did it tell you?
This is what it said. I'm going to read the important paragraph. When FINRA halts a security due to significant uncertainty in the settlement and clearance process, it means that there are concerns about the ability to complete the transactions involving the security in a safe and orderly manner. The settlement and clearance process refers to the procedures that must be followed to transfer ownership of a security from one party to another and to clear and settle the transaction. Right? And then in general, uncertainty in the settlement and clearance process can arise for a variety of reasons, such as operational issues with the clearing houses or settlement systems, problems with the underlying collateral for a security, or concerns about the credit worthiness of a party involved in the transaction. If FINRA determines that there is a significant risk to the settlement and clearance process, it may halt trading in the security to give itself time to address the situation and protect investors. So the 63 days that it's been halted, and they cited significant uncertainty in the settlement, it could be because of the credit worthiness of a party involved in the transaction. Okay, there's going to be bankruptcies in this. Okay, if it squeezes to the levels we're thinking. Okay?
Oh, absolutely. Now, here's another nugget. So the Bloomberg terminal screenshots that I posted. What I think is important to note is that, I mean, Bloomberg terminal is the most accurate. It's the most accurate platform that you can use, and the Bloomberg terminal is still showing it as halted. It is not showing it as exchanged, and it is not showing it as deleted, and it is not showing it as suspended. It's actually showing that it's still active. Not actively trading, but that the ticker symbol itself is still active. So
that was a really good find, man. And I don't know if you sent that to Rosa, but
I mean, I can call Rosa. Rosa's my friend.
No, don't. Okay, if she's your friend, yeah, sure. Or just let her know that you.
Yeah, I can just text it to her. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. And that when I saw that, I was like, I just want to see the response now. I want to know what Finra is going to say to this, and I want to like what I forgot exactly what Rosa said, but she phrased it really well, and she then said that she implores, she recommends the judge try to determine whether it's deleted or not on for himself, on his own, something like that, which is fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Now we know that DTC, like I'm telling you, my brokerage Questrade told me specifically, DTCC, they're awaiting instructions from DTCC, right? And that it's under a chill.
Yeah, my broker said the same thing. TD Ameritrade said the same thing to me.
So where and then we're like, I was going through, I kid you not, I went through every single goddamn page. I went through 350 tickers, and I found 10 that were U3 halted, and then that ceased trading on the OTC. So they had to issue a D1 deletion code.
And most of them were overseas.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And one way or another, they're saying that MMTLP ceased. It no longer exists.
It's
then
bullshit.
issue the D1. Why haven't you issued the D1? So I asked ChatGPT about Finra's D1. Let me read you the response from that. Yes. Let me read the question. Okay. Does Finra issue a D1 deletion code for securities that have been deleted from trading on the market? This is the response. Yes, Finra does issue a D1 deletion code for securities that have been deleted from trading on the market. The D1 code is used to indicate that a security has been deleted from Finra's records and is no longer authorized for trading on the market. The D1 code is used to communicate this information to Finra's members and other market participants. Okay, the fact that they haven't issued it, that says that they aren't communicating to the other participants that MMTLP is deleted. Okay, it's. I mean, the evidence is there, man.
It's overwhelmingly okay. So all of the puzzle pieces seem to point in one direction, and that one direction is that they plan at some point, hopefully in the very near future, that this is going to trade again. The way I see it, Mr. Pro Street, is that they got three options. Option number one, let us trade this again, close out the shorts, and finish it. Option number two, offer a settlement, which will definitely lead to option number three. Get your ass sued big time, and if one person, I equate this to when an animal is getting pregnant, there's millions of cells flying towards an egg, and that egg is discovery. You're going to get your ass sued a million different ways, and all it takes is one to get to the egg of discovery, and we blow the whole naked shorting case wide open, and confidence in the United States stock market goes kerplop, and it could potentially cause trillions upon trillions of dollars to be withdrawn from the United States stock market, specifically from small caps.
Mm.
And even I mean, even like a company like Tesla, Tesla has been naked shorted to the ground.
Yeah. In fact, original Reddit posters said that Tesla was the original infinity squeeze. Okay, that all the bad dealers, they actually shorted the shit out of Tesla. Remember, Elon almost went bankrupt. Okay, it's
Yeah,
a
three
miracle
times.
that Tesla survived.
Yeah,
So
three
everybody
times.
had it in for Tesla, thinking it was going to fail, but it turned around and it. Remember, Tesla used to be at $2,500. It was only after like multiple reverse splits that it is at the price that it is today. Right? It
Yeah.
used to be at $2,500.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Just a brief thing about Tesla and Elon Musk. Tesla got into the electric vehicle game, and first, he was a part of PayPal, and PayPal exploded into a juggernaut. Then he goes into Tesla, and he takes on big oil and big auto. He also takes on the media by doing that. Why? Because the biggest advertisers in the media are car companies. And you've never seen a Tesla commercial, not once, because he doesn't do them. He doesn't spend money on TV commercials. He doesn't do that. So then he turns around and, using all of the money that people who are concerned about the environment paid him and made him rich, then he uses that money and buys Twitter. And now he's taking on the media again. And he's taking on the establishment again. And they're scared beyond their wits. And yeah, they're trying to stamp. I mean, they ran Tesla so far under value that it was ridiculous just a couple of weeks ago. I mean, my IRA was, they shorted it. They brought it down so bad. I thought my IRA was going to be a bill by the time it was come to collect. So, yeah.
The thing is, I don't know how he does it, but even Chat GPT, he owns part of Chat GPT.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, he owns the company that made it. He owns an interest in it, and Microsoft also has a ownership interest in it. But this guy's people don't understand, man, how good his company. Even if Tesla's sales start plummeting because of the economic downturn, the industries that he's in are the industries of tomorrow that are going to dominate the world. Okay, so satellite connection, for example. I don't know if you noticed, Verizon's fiber optic cable just recently got cut. Okay, it left 100 million people without internet. And this is going to continue to happen with all this back and forth World War III crap happening, right?
And Starlink is like the only answer.
Exactly.
Yep.
Now, Google has is reliant on their fiber optic cable, right? So is Amazon, and them are reliant on their servers. Now,
all of them, Comcast, Spectrum, Charter, all of them.
Elon has the satellites. Elon has the cars. If tomorrow he comes out with the Tesla phone, there goes Apple iPhone. It's destroyed. Okay. Then on top of that, he's invested in Neuralink. His Neuralink is so advanced, it's going to have the ability to cure Alzheimer's, cure people with who are like quadriplegics. right? All these neurodegenerative diseases.
I ain't
His
getting that no Neuralink though. Not
Yeah,
for me.
yeah. It's again, like I said, the technology is like, if it's in bad hands, it can be used for bad ways. But if at the same side, if the law catches up to the technology and proper legal frameworks are put where it can't be exploited to harm people, then and it can be only used for all the amazing benefits that it can do, right? Like people who have vision impairment, he can give vision impairment because now the eyes can connect to the brain, properly.
Yeah.
People who can't feel,
I
can't
mean,
taste.
even spinal injuries.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
So point is, look at the industry he's in. This is the industry of tomorrow. Okay, so he has the satellite, the neural thing. He has SpaceX.
Yep.
He has battery technology. Okay, I don't know if you know this. I was in Australia at the time when Australia was completely out of power. He provided Australia Tesla batteries, which still power Australia right now. Right? It's he's very well diversified, and there's rumors that in the future he's going to combine all of his companies into one big company, like Google did with Alphabet. Google made Alphabet, and Google is another big company, right? Like Google's in phone, Google's in search engine, servers, games, right? Like there's
So
everything.
here's
Wind,
what
yeah, solar.
here's what here's what I would like. I would request of you. First of all, thank you for coming in tonight. It's again, you're a credit, and you. If Finra put their finger on the scale to help the hedge funds, then you, sir, are a weight on the scale of the other side. And it's the truth. No. You've helped a lot of people, and I sent you a tweet the other day saying, please come into my space because you deserve your flowers. And I'm very, very happy that you came in tonight or today or this morning, wherever the hell you are. For those watching, what I would like, if you would be so kind, I think we've had a great conversation, you and I, and I would like to invite you to come at a more reasonable hour, and have a little bit more of a long form conversation, not just on MMTLP, but on these other topics that we've kind of touched on tonight. I think what we did with the volume analysis is pretty solid, but I'm gonna have, like I said, I'm gonna have a couple of guys that I know that are already working on this. They're doing a professional volume analysis for me, so that I can get a better idea of what to expect. For me, yes, price matters, but at the same time, it is, I think, more important than anything to try and nail down how many shares they have to buy back so we can figure out. To me, it's going to be the volume count that's going to be a really strong indicator of when and where to time my exit. If you don't want to get stuck in Nextbridge. So
Yeah.
what I would go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at the Excel spreadsheets that you sent, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to make a chart with several estimates.
Are you
Okay.
going to come back and talk to me again? Or are you going to be like Batman again and go vigilante on us?
No, I'm gonna come. Just send me the link, right? And if
Yeah.
it's during the daytime around 8, 9, 10, 11, that's fine.
In the morning?
No, during the day, the evening.
During the
Or,
day? In what world is the day the evening for you, Batman?
All right, yeah, in the morning, anytime, right? But on the weekend, I can do anytime,
Okay, so
like right
let's
now.
do. Would you agree to come back Sunday at, I don't know, say 8 p.m. Eastern time?
Yeah, yeah, that's fine with me. That's fine.
Perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push the living hell out of out of the uh, out of the guys that I asked to kind of check my math and see what they come up with. And in the meantime, you and I, in a back channel, of course, you and I can continue to have this conversation as well. And yeah, I think it's great. Do you want to take some questions before we end this?
Yeah, yeah, and I'll just quickly say that like I said, like three. I think how long has this been going on? Like 3 hours now,
I
4 hours?
mean, yeah, we've been going on for about 3.5 hours.
All right, so like I said early on, this like I'm blown away. Like I'm in AMC, I'm in GME, but what the entire MMTLP community has done is just amazing. Like I don't tend to do any share calls. Uh, I don't participate on many of the other things, but like we've covered every ground. Like we got the YouTube videos covered, we got the Twitter space calls covered, we
All
got the
forms of media.
lawsuits covered, we got the
Yeah.
journalists covered. You guys have covered. Guys have went way beyond anything I've ever seen and gone and talked to your local state senators and governors, and the attention is here. I think the passion is here. I think and the more that I saw of the MMTLP community coming together, the more I said, why don't I use my own skills to get out information, uh, do anything that I can to give back to this community. And I think everybody, if we're successful in what happens, this is going to be like historic. This is going to become every investor who's invested in MMT. This is going to become their
You know what I've
lifelong
likened this
achievement.
to? You know what I've
Yeah.
likened this to? I've likened this whole movement, GTII, GME, AMC, CRTDs, all of these stocks that are being nefariously shorted. I've imagined them all as a spear, and MMTLP is the head.
Yeah.
And if executed properly, we can drive this spear right through the heart of the establishment. Because if we win, then all of these other tickers are going to see an influx of liquidity. These people are going to get fucking crushed.
I mean,
Crushed.
look at their situation. Okay, like if they keep delaying the lawsuits, let them. Okay. On the same hand, the SEC now has to give their response to the S1. And
Yeah.
on top of that, NBH isn't waiting for anybody. They're going on trying to acquire the remaining 10% working interest. Okay. And the 40 million, who knows who's going to buy that? It could be a oil and gas giant, or it could be some of the hedge funds that naked shorted it, in
I think
which
it's going to
case,
be the DTC.
or it could be the DTC. Yeah,
Yeah.
in any scenario, it's in our benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they're at a position where they're stressing. Every minute goes by, they're stressing. How are they going to cover it? How are they going to cover it? Right. And then on top of that, they have not one lawsuit, but they got like multiple lawsuits, and they have West Christian on their ass. I think I heard you say earlier that John Berta, DTC had a meeting together,
Yeah,
right?
and Finra didn't even show up to this shit.
There you go. So
Yeah.
look at that, shows their stress. And then we have this Cromwell Colson fool
Oh, I
came
call
out of
him colon
nowhere.
cleanse.
Right? I
Yeah.
mean, look at the extent they're going through. And you know what? I see in Tony tweets, if you haven't seen his Chat GPT video, watch it, because he asked Chat GPT, is it illegal for hedge funds and OTC presidents and whatnot to come on Twitter, buy shills and do shilling attacks, right? And then Cornwell Coulson got got caught liking that one comment. And then when somebody, who was it that actually looked at it and called them out on
Yeah,
it?
the comment that the asset was worth 50 cents a share.
Oh man, I laughed so hard when I saw that.
Yeah, that
And
guy
then
went into meltdown mode.
he went into meltdown after that, right? And he's trying to give his reasoning for everything.
He told us all we were stupid. He said, "You don't understand market mechanics and operations." I mean, that's you telling us that we're stupid. Well, who's stupid now, you silly bastard? You're stuck.
Yeah.
You're stuck.
And
period.
I think I would love to have seen his facial expression after him finding out that Rosa mentioned his tweet in the response. Oh man.
Yeah. So let's take the questions. Let's take the questions.
Yeah.
To be in bed 5 hours ago because I was trying to get to bed at a reasonable time tonight. Yeah, that wasn't gonna happen. Who the hell am I fooling? Jimmy Ray, what do you got, man? Hey.
I just wanted to say, after the Super Bowl, I'll be glad to co-host that with you tomorrow or Sunday. I mean, well, tomorrow. Fuck
Is
me.
the Super Bowl on Sunday? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it's 3:30 to 6:30. It should be done by 8, so that's fine. And then, Mark, my guy, thank you very much for coming on, and thank you for over the years, man, the bullshit. And I appreciate you, man. You're a good dude, and 100% appreciate you.
Yeah, no worries, Jimmy. Anytime.
Yeah, awesome. Let's go to Not a Righty. Not a righty. Okay, that didn't work. Let's go to Dan.
Can you hear me, Drew?
Yeah, what's up, man?
All right, so I cannot wait for this space you're getting ready to schedule with Pro Street Art, because this is going to be well heard among the community. But tomorrow is the Super Bowl. 6:30 Eastern is the start time, so you're 8 o'clock. You may have to move it to Monday.
Pro Street, you want to do Monday at 9 o'clock your time?
Yeah, sure. That's fine with me.
So I'll schedule it for Monday, 9 o'clock your time, and we'll do it then. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
And one other comment I have is this community, as you know, and most of us know, is an awesome community. We can make a difference. Could you see what this community, armed with hundreds of millions of dollars, how many shorts we could squeeze out?
Yeah, that's the plan.
For sure.
That's the plan.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, thank you.
All right, Dan. Let's go to Not a Righty.
Andrew, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I don't know what this means. I saw 100's post or retweet of your Bloomberg screen, and I went kind of down a rabbit hole, but I pulled up an account that has only ever held MMTLP on Black Diamond this morning. Are you familiar with Black Diamond?
Not really.
Okay, so Black Diamond is an overlay where you can have multiple brokers on the same statement. So let's say you have assets at Schwab and E-Trade and a bunch of
I see what you're saying. It's an aggregator.
Yeah, it's an aggregator. And all of a sudden this morning, in an account of mine that only has ever had MMTLP in it, I have NextBridge hydrocarbon shares and Metatron Inc. new shares.
What the hell is Metatron Inc.?
I have no idea.
Okay, so what I think that might be is I think that might be an error because of metamaterials. It's showing up as Metatron.
No, I've got the metamaterials in there. I've got Metamaterials Inc. preferred Series A, and then Metatron, and then NextBridge Hydrocarbon.
Do you want to send it to me and black out your sensitive information?
I've already taken a picture. I've just got to redact my.
All right, I'll rip that. I'll rip that apart, and I'll get back to you about it after I've had an hour of sleep.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I found it interesting, given we feel like maybe some things are moving. I don't know if this is a piece to the puzzle or not, but I thought I'd share it.
Yeah, I'll look into that. Thanks, man.
No problem.
All right, Michael, what's up?
What's going on, brother?
How you doing?
Hey, so I kind of know what's going on with the MMTLP play, but I kind of don't. I'm not gonna rehash this bullshit, but this is going on in the OTC, right?
Yes.
Okay. So OTC is like, to me, like a fucktard play because.
Are you a shareholder of MMTLP?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so are you new to the community?
Not necessarily.
Okay. Do you have a question or a comment?
I have more questions than comments.
Okay.
But you know what? Like, I'm an AMC guy, right? So I'm just trying to understand. But like, what's my question? My question is, is that I believe that you guys are doing the right thing in terms of like finding justice for all of this bullshit, right? But playing OTC market, which is such a gray area, I don't know the foothold that you guys have.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know how to address that, but your feedback is noted, I guess. I mean,
there's a lot of people that believe that as well, and you're free to believe that. Like based on my research, I refute that. But
I strictly traded. Okay, so when I was an active trader, I strictly traded the OTC for a good 3.5 years. That was all I traded, and some stocks trade very thin, and some of them trade very clean, just like a big board. It depends on the volume that is, and the liquidity that is in the ticker that you're playing.
My point exactly. True.
Yeah, and MMTLP has had some real solid liquidity, especially in the months leading up to the halt. There was some solid liquidity and movement. So I don't know what it is that that gentleman was getting at, but yeah, I think we're just gonna go to Best Fish. Best Fish.
Yep. Hey, Andrew, can you hear me?
What's up, man? How are you?
Excellent. You know what? I'm relatively sober tonight, my friend. So
sounds like it.
Thank you, brother. So I had this question last night, and I will just say I was a little bit offended by the way I was off put by this question, and I was just told over and over again.
Did you ask me the question?
Market makers did this. I did not, sir.
All right,
and you were in that space for a moment. All right. So I think it's a simple question because it's a binary question, yay or nay. So I have a question. It's a technical question. Did MMTLP ever trade on the NS or the CNS, continuous net settlement system, or not? And for those who aren't here, continuous net settlement is if Andrew sells his clients 100 shares, and on the same day I sell my clients, and we're brokers, I sell my clients 110 shares. At the end of the day, continuous net settlement means that because things are all held in straight name, Andrew owes me 10 shares. And that's it. Doesn't matter whether my constituents traded thousands of shares or Andrew's constituents traded thousands of shares. But at the end of the day, what continuous net settlement means, they net the buys and the sells on my side and Andrew's side. And then at the end of the day, there's a differential of 10.
Yeah,
and
because
then,
they were broker to broker. They allowed this thing to go broker to broker for
thank you,
clearing
brother.
purposes.
Thank
Yeah.
you, brother. And I'm trying to be informative for the community, but I'm really asking for your brain and others. And last night,
So that was okay. So on the OCC document, it was listed there that they were going to allow this thing to go broker to broker, which means that it could essentially be a self-clearing security. And it's exactly like you said. They total it up at the end of the day, and the difference gets transferred from A to B, and that's the end of it.
Thank you. And that's, and I'm not trying to talk over you, but thank you. And that's what we literally is net settlement. We net it up at some point. And in real estate or in some other business or some other thing, we net it at a point. But CNS, as per the NSCC, which is a subsidiary of DTC or DTTC, we net at a point. We just put it all together, and instead of you transferring me 114 shares and me transferring you 84 shares from my constituent and back and forth, we just net it together at the end of the day, right? We understand that's what netting is. At the end of the day or end of any periodic period,
I'm going to pass out and die on the phone in a minute.
Okay. So here's what I'm trying to get to. And I think somebody in the room knows. I was told to go talk to Gandalf and go talk to fuck, everybody's busy. I don't want to bother people.
Just fire away.
Okay. So is it true or not? And this is the defining line, my brother. Is it true or not that MMTLP ever traded on this or not? Do we know that or not?
Traded on what?
The NSCC and
as far as I know, the DTCC was the clearing agency responsible for the DTCC was the clearinghouse that was responsible for MMTLP.
Okay, and so I haven't known that. I haven't seen it on paper. I will trust you for this.
As far as I know, like I said.
Yep. But here is the defining line, because if that never happened, because see what continuous net settlement is an electronic situation for them to electronically trade pink sheets and all 4 layers of OTC. And what that means is if it never hit that, right, then it is purely broker to broker. And the point to be made here is I want to know it definitively. Even if one trade happened,
I can't give you that answer. And it's 7 o'clock in the morning, and I really just specifically wanted to focus on if there's any questions regarding any subject matter that Pro Street and I discussed. I'm respectfully begging you, and I really don't want to come to me in a DM. I'll shoot you a DM right now, and I'll do any due diligence that I can.
Okay, yeah, brother. Absolutely understood. And I will shut down with this. And here is the final point. And then I will be done. I promise you. Here's the final point. If it never hit that level, then what it means is the brokers are on the hook by definition. That's all. The brokers are on the hook for.
Oh, they're on the hook.
Yep. This is a defining line. There may be many defining lines drawn in the sand, but this is the point I wanted to make, and I was hoping for an answer, and that's okay. I don't have an answer.
Just DM me. Just DM me the full. You don't understand. I'm losing consciousness fast.
All right.
Hang on. Let me just say one thing. So I'm going to read you the part of the OCC memo, okay? On October 6, 2021, the Series A preferred shares began trading on an OTC market under the name Meta Materials Inc. and the trading symbol MMTLP. Additionally, OCC has been informed that the MMTLP shares are not eligible for CNS settlement. And then under the subtitle Broker-to-Broker Settlement, Meta Materials Inc. MMTLP Series A preferred shares are not eligible for CNS settlement. Consequently, settlement of MMTLP component MMAT1 exercise assignment activity June 28, 2021, and thereafter will be subject to broker-to-broker settlement.
Yeah.
All delayed settlement obligations related to MMTLP component from June 28, 2021 to October 7, 2021 will no longer be delayed and will be subject to broker-to-broker settlement.
Boom. Thank you. And Andrew, I will shut up and leave you to go to bed, and we'll throw dirt and whatever. But
Yeah, throw dirt on me. I'm
if
done.
that is true, and I have no disbelief for that, if that is true and it never ever traded, that means that is all upon the brokers. Short sales are all upon the brokers. It's broker to broker trading. That's why Fidelity made us used to call the quote unquote fixed interest desk. And if that is true, this is, I wouldn't say where the problem lies. There's a systemic problem, but boy,
Best fish. I'm gonna throw myself out a window.
Hang on. Can I just read you the last paragraph on the first page? Okay.
Yeah, I'm
trying. Let me just let me read it. In determining that delivery of the MMTLP Series A preferred shares is in fact not possible in respect of a given exercise or assignment, OCC shall require an appropriate officer of the delivering clearing member to represent in writing that the delivery is not possible. And then it goes on to say, pursuant to customary OCC broker-to-broker settlement procedures, inability to effect delivery may subsequently occasion cash settlement as determined by the OCC. But I think this was in reference to the options. A lot of people had bought MMAT1 and MMAT2, which would allow them to get 50 or 75 MMTLP.
Yeah, they were essentially options.
Yeah. It's in reference to options, yeah.
I think you actually just really nailed something, but I'm going to defer and let Andrew get to his bed. And
by all means, come back Monday or come back tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow, but Pro Street and I are going to do a space on Monday at, 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Sure.
And we're going to do some follow-up stuff on the volume analysis and the share buyback estimates. And then we're just going to shoot the shit, I think. I would just like to, Pro Street, maybe, I don't know if we're going to discuss in DMs what the format of our space is going to be, but
yeah,
I think we should have a little bit of fun with it. What do you think?
Yeah, we'll bounce ideas. It'll be well worth everyone's time.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. Okay, so this is what I do. When I close out a space, I always close it out with a prayer. And this is the same prayer that I say every morning. I say that prayer to a God, to a higher power of my understanding. I call that higher power God. It does not matter if you call your higher power God, Jesus, Allah, Moses, the sun, the universe, Joe Pesci, whoever your higher power is, whatever it is that you believe in, this prayer goes out to a higher power of all of our understandings. And the prayer that I say is as follows. First of all, I'd like to thank Pro Street for surprising us with making an appearance. It was very, very kind of you to come and spend this time and do this kind of analysis. I had fun, and I think we both got to share a lot of really good information with each other and put some stuff forward. For those of you who are just joining us, I'm going to make sure that I pull the recording. I will pull the recording tomorrow, and I will post the recording as soon as Twitter allows me to, because I have to request a data archive, go through the data archive, and then cut the specific portion of the conversations that 100 had with Mr. Pro Street, and then I'll cut the conversations that I had with Mr. Pro Street, and I'll make sure it gets posted for everyone, because it was late at night, and not everyone got to hear it, and I think it was a fantastic conversation that should be heard. So I'll do that. But before I get to the prayer and close out the meeting, I'd like to thank you, Pro Street, once again for everything that you've done for the MMTLP community, for the just magnificent force that you've been. You haven't been in the spaces. You haven't tried to make yourself you weren't looking for any spotlight. You just wanted to do the work. And for that work, and for all you've done for the people of this community, for all of the faith that you've instilled in them, for all of the confidence that you've instilled in them, and for all of the fight that you've instilled in them, on behalf of everyone, I say thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries, guys. Thanks for everyone's support, help. I'm very optimistic for our situation, and we just gotta hold. They're the ones under the pressure.
Yeah, what I've been saying the whole time is I'd rather be in the unknown with strong confidence than in crippling fear. They are in a round room and they're looking for a corner to hide in, and there ain't one. And when they hit the U3 halt button, all they did was shut the lights off on us. But they're still in a round room, and there's no corner for them to hide in.
Right.
Right.
Perfect.
Once again, thank you for coming out, and with your permission, I'll say the prayer and close out the space, if that's okay.
Yeah, go right ahead. Perfect.
All right. So once again, this prayer goes out to all of our higher powers, and the prayers are as follows. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. God, thank you for everything you've given us. Thank you for everything you've kept away from us. Thank you for granting us our health and granting health to our loved ones. We pray that you continue to grant us our health, show us the right way in life and the right way to become closer with God, and bless us with the wisdom to choose the correct path that you place before us. God, we pray that you watch over our families, keep everybody healthy, safe, and happy, and bless us with the knowledge, wisdom, and power to provide the best kind of lives possible for ourselves, as you fill our home with your love and presence at all times, and remove from us the bondages of self, that we may better serve thy will. May it be your will, God, that we all gather together to celebrate very, very soon, as you bring us all one step closer to God, one step closer to each other, and one step closer to our dreams. Amen. Thank you guys very, very much for joining us. Pro Street, once again, thank you for joining us. And definitely look forward to having another conversation with you Monday at 9:00 Eastern time. Thank you so much for coming in, man.
No worries. I'll be there. Thanks.
All right, bro. Talk to you soon. Everybody have a great night. I'm
Bye.
going to flush my head down the toilet twice right now. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.